Text number 7. Ityuktastannmatam gyatva gatasa varunantikam aniya datva tan ashvan upayeme varananam. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Vaisaranarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When King Gadi made this demand, the great sage Richika could understand the king's mind. Therefore he went to the demigod Varuna and brought from him the 1,000 horses that Gadi had demanded. After delivering these horses, the sage married the king's beautiful daughter. Text 8. Sarishi prartita patnya svashnuva chapatyam kamyaya Shapayitvo bhayair mantraish charum snatum gato munihi. Translation. Thereafter Richika Muni's wife and mother-in-law, each desiring a son, requested the Muni to prepare an oblation. Thus Richika Muni prepared one oblation for his wife with a Brahmana mantra and another for his mother-in-law with a Kshatriya mantra. Then he went out to bathe. Text 9. Tavat Satyavati Matra Svacharum Yachita Sati Shreshtam Matva Taya Yachan Matre Matur Adat Swayam. Translation. Meanwhile, because Satyavati's mother thought that the oblation prepared for her daughter, Richika's wife, must be better, she asked her daughter for that oblation. Satyavati therefore gave her own oblation to her mother and ate her own mother's oblation herself. Purport. A husband naturally has some affection for his wife. Therefore, Satyavati's mother thought that the oblation prepared for Satyavati by the sage Richika must have been better than her own oblation. In Richika's absence, the mother took the better oblation from Satyavati and ate it. Text 10. Please repeat after me. Tat viditva munihi praha. Tad viditva muni praha patni kashtam akarashihi. Patnim kashtam akarashihi Goraha Dandadaraha Putraha Ghoro Dandadara Putro Brata Te Brahmavittamaha Brata Te Brahmavittamaha Tadviditva Muni Praha Patnim Kashtam Akarashihi Ghoro Dandadara Putro Brata Te Brahmavittamaha Tadviditva Muni Praha Patnim Kashtam Akarashihi Ghoro Dandadara Putro Brata Te Brahmavittamaha. Tat, this fact, viditva, having learned, munihi, the great sage, Praha said, Patnim unto his wife, Kashtam very regrettable, Akarashihi you have done, Dhoraha fierce, Dandadaraha a great personality who can punish others, Putraha such a son, Bhrata brother, Te your, Brahmavittamaha a learned scholar in spiritual science. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When the great sage Richika returned home after bathing and understood what had happened in his absence, he said to his wife Satyavati, You have done a great wrong. Your son will be a fierce Kshatriya, able to punish everyone, and your brother will be a learned scholar in spiritual science. Please repeat the translation. When the great sage Richika returned home after bathing and understood what had happened in his absence, he said to his wife Satyavati, You have done a great wrong. Your son will be a fierce Kshatriya, able to punish everyone, and your brother will be a learned scholar in spiritual science. Purport. A Brahmana is highly qualified when he can control his senses and mind. When he is a learned scholar in spiritual science, and when he is tolerant and forgiving. A Kshatriya, however, is highly qualified when he is fierce in giving punishment to wrongdoers. These qualities are stated in Bhagavad Gita 18.42-43. Because Satyavati, instead of eating her own oblation, had eaten that which was meant for her mother, she would give birth to a son imbued with the Kshatriya spirit. This was undesirable. The son of a Brahmana is generally expected to become a Brahmana. But if such a son becomes fierce like a Kshatriya, he is designated according to the description of the four Varnas in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturmanyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. If the son of a Brahmana does not become like a Brahmana, he may be called a Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, according to his qualifications. The basic principle for dividing society is not a person's birth, but his qualities and actions. Thus ends the Bhakti purport and translation to Canto 9, Chapter 15, texts 7 to 10. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this chapter is describing the dynasty of Pururava, in which one of the most powerful incarnations of the Lord by name Parashurama made his appearance. So Here it is describing about how King Gadi, coming in the Pururava dynasty, had a beautiful daughter by name Satyavati. And this daughter was requested to become the wife of Richika Muni. Richika Muni himself, a great sage of the ancient times, he himself personally requested King Gadi to give his daughter in marriage to him. But King Gadi thought that he belongs to an aristocratic family, royal family from the Kusha dynasty. Therefore, he thought that this Brahmana Richika is not fit to be her daughter's husband. Therefore, he made a very unusual request. He said, "You should get me as dowry to my daughter 1,000 horses, and each must have at least 1 ear, which is black in color. It can be right ear or left ear. Where will you find such a horse?" So, still, Richika Muni accepted the request, having understood the king's mind. He understood that the king is not going to deliver his daughter to me unless I fulfill this request, or rather demand from the king. So he went to Indradev and requested Indra to deliver 1,000 horses, and each of these horses having at least 1 ear, which is black in color. And Indra delivered 1,000 horses, having one of the ears black in color. And then he obtained the beautiful daughter of King Gadi by name Satyavati as his chaste wife. So, uh, touching little upon this system of dowry, the concept of dowry in the Vedic, in the ancient times, in the Vedic culture, is basically a father giving his daughter some wealth out of love, and it was never forced. The whole society was cultured and brought up in such a way, the entire society, the entire country, at least when Vedic civilization was very prevalent, mostly when monarchy was prevalent. Now it is democracy system going on as a system of ruling. But when monarchy was a system of ruling and the kings were very pious, and Varnashrama was uh, Varnashrama was the prominent civilization. That time, they all had been brought up in Vedic culture. They had been brought up in the Gurukula system of education. So they all knew the values of all these things with its purpose and intent. So dowry is generally given to the daughter by the father out of love, because the father is getting separated from the daughter after a long number of years, and that is very painful for the parents. Even today it is true, because psychology doesn't change with time. Even now the parents feel very, very uncomfortable giving away the daughter to the son-in-law. Maybe she may come once a while, maybe few times a year. She's not going to stay anymore with the parents. So that is very painful for the parents. Just so that the daughter is comfortable in the in-laws' house, the father out of love gives her a lot of wealth. So that was the dowry system. It was never forced. That was the system. Then you may see here, if a demand is being made, that was also accepted in a very sportive manner. Because for the son-in-law, he has to prove his status to the father-in-law that I am not anything less. I am capable of taking care of your daughter. I am capable of, because uh, he has to prove himself. So therefore, these demands are accepted on the other side. That's why Richika Muni He accepted the challenge, accepted the demand. Yes, I will get you 1,000 horses. And he brought it. So this is called Kanya Daya or Kanya Dana in our regular language, but in Sanskrit it's called Kanya Daya. That means donation. We have different kinds of donation, right? We give, let's say we have the three patras. We have vegetables, we have fruits, we have flowers, we have grains. So what is called is Kanya Daya, donation of a daughter in marriage. So Kanya Daya. So the father is actually donating his daughter to somebody else. So that is an obligation for the father. He cannot avoid. A boy can remain a brahmachari without getting married, but a girl cannot remain in a single status. As per the Vedic system, she must get married because she needs protection. She needs physical protection. She needs, most importantly than physical protection, emotional protection. Because woman, as per the material body arrangement, they're uh, very sensitive emotionally, and that can be exploited and they can be misled. Therefore, they must be given protection, and that protection is to be given by a male member. Generally, again, as per the material body arrangement, male is generally more strong emotionally than the female. So, therefore, the strong should protect the weak is the general law. Therefore, a woman should marry. That is the general Vedic system. So therefore, it is the father's responsibility, especially the father's responsibility to get the daughter married. And it was taken very seriously in the Vedic times. Very seriously. Sometimes the father will also give up life if he could not get his daughter married. That was the kind of seriousness. Because to get a suitable husband is very difficult, not easy. Sometimes because of that, marriage doesn't happen very quickly. Because the father has to see a suitable son-in-law who will take care of his daughter equally like him. He has to develop that trust. Otherwise, he'll not hand over like that. So much sensitivities are involved. But of course, this dowry system may not work in Kali Yuga because more or less people, the whole Varnashrama has collapsed and there is no monarchy system. And moreover, it has become uh, a demand, not again, that demand is not being taken in the right spirit on the other side. It has become mostly a forced activity. Therefore, the government had abolished it. So today there is no such dowry system prevalent, officially and legally. Still, unofficially, the parents do give at marriage to the daughter. So, so we can see even in thousands of years back, also the system was very much in practice. It is also a security for the daughter. This wealth generally is not used by the husband. That what is given as dowry, generally by the father to one's daughter, generally not used by the son-in-law. It is with the daughter only. In case there is an emergency, there is a need, she can always use that gold or any asset given by the father at her marriage. So, continuing the discussion here, after having married Satyavati, the daughter of King Dadi, one day Richika Muni's wife Satyavati and his mother, both of them requested from Richika Muni an oblation. Basically, oblation is something which is an offering made to Lord Vishnu in the Vedic sacrifice. In this case, oblation is actually a preparation which is offered to Lord Vishnu with a particular desire in mind. For the fulfillment of a particular desire, an oblation is offered to Lord Vishnu, and as prasad, it is given to the person who desires something, some wish, and necessarily that wish will be fulfilled if it is done in a proper way. Necessarily that desire will be fulfilled. Mostly it is material desire. It's in the karma kanda level, because as advanced spiritualists or Vaishnavas, we don't desire anything other than desiring the Lord Himself. But there's nothing wrong sometimes if somebody desires something and makes an offering unto Vishnu, seeking his blessings, fulfill their desire. So they requested Ichika Muni to prepare one oblation. Yeah, Krishna Balaram goes with that. So Richika Muni prepared two oblations. One with a Brahmana mantra, invoking the Brahminical qualities into that oblation, basically some prasadam. Okay. And one more oblation, he invoked all the Kshatriya qualities of a person and seeking Vishnu's blessings in this oblation. And then he gave them to for each of them. So then he went for his bath, usual bath. The Brahmana takes at least 3 times bath a day. He went for his bath. In the meanwhile, Satyavati's mother thought, oh, actually, generally, husband has natural inclination towards his wife, liking towards his wife. It is natural, it's nothing wrong. And husband must have inclination towards his wife, and it is important. So then she thought, it is natural that a husband likes his wife, and naturally, he will always have something more preferable to his wife. So that means my daughter's oblation must be better than my oblation. What it is, she does not know. And then she requested her daughter, after all, daughter, what her mother says, yes, mama, whether she will say. So she said, okay, we'll extend the oblation. And then they extend the oblation, and then they honored that prasadam, which was endowed with potency of Lord Vishnu, with a particular purpose and intent of getting a son. Both of them. Can you imagine? With mantra, you can get a child, and a child which you desire. This is the scientific Vedic system, spiritual science. We have no idea. Today, marriage happens and children take birth. How they take birth, nobody knows. Who will take birth? We have no control. But in the Vedic times, you can call for a particular jiva whom you want. Because exactly which jiva that you may not know. But overall, just like you want a Kshatriya son, you can get a Kshatriya son. You want a Vaishnava, a devotee as your son, you can get. You want God as your son, that also is possible. All through the Bhagavatam, we have examples. You can even have God as your son. Can you imagine? If you can have God as your son, what do you speak of having a Brahmana or Kshatriya as your son? No great difficulty, right? And having some son, some daughter, that is not at all difficult anyway. Because Shastras say even animals also have their offspring. So giving birth, it's not a great difficult task at all. It's the most normal thing. But if the progeny has to be successful, it is not that there is safe delivery alone is not successful delivery. What is that delivery? What is that child? Who is that child who has taken birth? Is he endowed with divine qualities or demoniac nature? This is the criteria. Is the child blessed with divine qualities or demonic qualities? That's why we see Yudhishthira Maharaj also. When Parikshit Maharaj was born, he was very concerned. Even a person like Yudhishthira, when Parikshit was born, he was very concerned. He called Daumya and asked, how will this child be? Will he uphold the reputation of our descendants? We are coming from a very, very highly respectable family. Will he uphold all that respect and reputation? Not only respect and reputation, heroism, so many things, power, piety, um, caring for people, protection. So all these things he asks. So there's a big list given in Bhagavatam, the first canto, about the birth of Emperor Parikshit. You can read that chapter. I'm not reading that now. Very interesting chapter. So it has been described. Yes, my dear king, he will uphold your reputation, and the he will be very powerful Kshatriya, very protective, very loving, very caring, like a father to the son. Like this, the rishis go on describing at his birth time. So that is very important. So coming back to this verse, so somehow Satyavati made this exchange with her mother, and then they had their prasadam. Then Richika Muni came back from his bath, and he immediately understood what had happened in his absence. Tad viditva Muni, tad viditva. He immediately understood. These rishis, they need not ask and inquire what happened. They have a spiritual sense. They will know by their divya drishti what happened if they want to know. So Richika Muni got to know, not by inquiry, but by his strength of tapasya. Can you imagine? There are so many such amazing systems, we have no idea. Today we inquire also, you will not get the correct information. As we know, the Chinese whisper. You tell something, somebody tells something, somebody tells something. By the time you get the message, it will be something else. I would have asked water. Finally, oxygen would have come to my hand, and carbon dioxide. Because water means oxygen plus carbon dioxide. So that means Prabhu wants, maybe he wants to do an experiment. Hydrogen and oxygen. So all kinds of speculations go. Even when you inquire directly, also so much speculation happens. Here we can see the perfect system of knowing by the strength of austerity, divya drishti. So Richika Muni got to know what had happened, transpired when he was not there, and he became very, very upset and unhappy. Spraha. So he spoke to his wife, Patni. Kashtam akarashihi. He said, you have done something very, very wrong. And because of the wrong, what is the wrong? As discussed, because they exchanged the oblations, thinking one is better than the other. So therefore he said, you did a great wrong. Why? Because Satyavati and Richika Muni wanted a sattvic son, sweet boy, sattvic boy, sattvic child, Brahminical child. They wanted a Brahmana. But then he said, he'll be a fierce Kshatriya. Because I had prepared that for your mother, but you have taken that oblation, so your son will be a fierce Kshatriya. Ghoro Dandadhara Putraha. So he'll be very fierce, Dandadharaha, able to, and he will punish everyone. Such will be your son. On the other hand, Brata, your brother, it's your mother's son, is your brother, Satyavati's brother, Te Brahma Vittamaha. He'll be endowed with all Brahminical qualities. He'll be a learned scholar, Brahma Vittamaha, in spiritual science. So we will try to understand this now. In the scriptures, in the Bhagavatam 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj has quoted a very nice verse. He says, Viprad Vishat Guna Yuta Daravinda Nabha Padaravinda Vimukat Shopacho Varishtam Manye Tadarpita Mano Vachane Hitartha Pranam Punati Sakulam Natu Bhuri Manaha. Here Prahlad Maharaj indicates that even if one is born with all Brahminical qualities, there are 12 Brahmana qualifications as per one scripture called Sanat Sujata. Sanat Sujata was a great rishi of the bygone ages. So he had composed many important verses, himself being a great Brahmana. So he had listed about 12 qualities. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna lists about 9 qualities of a Brahmana, the 18th chapter. But Sanat Sujata describes about 12 qualifications of a Brahmana. So Richika Muni said that your son, your brother will be endowed with such great Brahminical qualities. And he was Vishwamitra. So what are they? Jnanam cha satyam cha dhamma shrutam cha hi amatsaryam hris titikshanusuya yagnascha dhanam cha driti shamascha mahavrata dvadasha brahmanasya. What are the 12 qualifications of Brahmana which Prahlad Maharaj describes? Dvishat Guna. Shat is 6, Dvi is 2, Dvishat is 12. Guna. So what are the 12? As listed. He must be perfectly religious. He must be truthful. Jnanam, religious. Proper translation, Jnana must be perfectly religious. Is a very interesting translation. Jnanam is being perfectly religious because when you are truly in the platform of knowledge, you will be perfectly religious. You will be a very dharmic person if you are truly a knowledgeable person. Satyam, truthful. Damaha is be able to control his senses. Shrutam, um, learned in the Vedic subject matters. Amatsaryam, free from envy. Titiksha Anasuya is tolerant and free from jealousy nature. Yagnaha, one who performs sacrifices. Danam, one who gives charity. Driti Shamaha, one who's fixed, one who's steady, actually steady in devotional service. And Mahavrata, one who uh, performs Vrata. So Dvadasha Brahmana, so these are 12 qualifications of a Brahmana. Now one may have these 12 qualifications, but if he is not a devotee of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj says, then Pranam Punati Sakulam Na Tu Bhuri Manaha. Punati, Pranam, Punati Na. Prana means one's own self. Punati means to purify. Na means not. He cannot even purify himself. Even with these 12 Brahminical qualifications, if he is not a devotee of the Lord, if he is not a Vaishnava or a devotee of Vishnu, he cannot even purify himself. Pranam Punati Na. Sakulam Bhurimanaha. Then what to speak of his kula? How can he purify his kula? He cannot even purify himself. On the other hand, Prahlad Maharaj says, so that's why he says, Viprad. Vipra means actually a learned Brahmana. Because simply by getting Brahmana Diksha, you don't become learned. You have to study. By getting Upanayana, you don't become learned. It's the beginning of Vedic study. That's why it's called Upanayana. Means coming nearer to the spiritual master. Upanayana. Coming nearer to the spiritual master. For what? What is the business of a spiritual master? To simply impart Vedic knowledge. the basis of a spiritual master. So Upanayana means actually coming near to the spiritual master, meaning coming nearer to Vedic studies, becoming beginning your Vedic study. So Viprad, and when you complete your Vedic study, you become what is called as Vipra, who's a learned Brahmin. So Vipra Dvishat Guna Yutat Aravindanaba Padaravinda Vimukha. Padaravinda Vimukha. Vimukha means Vimukha means if one is against Vishnu or is not God conscious or Krishna conscious, he's not a devotee, then he's not dedicated to the lotus feet of Vishnu, then Pranam Punatina, he cannot even purify himself. What do you speak of his kula? On the other hand, Swapacha Varishta. Prahlad Maharaj is saying this. So he is an authority. And, we have to take his word seriously. Varishta means extremely glorious, par excellence. Good, better, best. Above that is par excellence. Varishta means par excellence. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Swapacham Varishtam. Even a dog eater is par excellence than a Brahmana. He's not saying dog eater is better than a Shudra. He's saying dog eater is better than the best. Brahmana is comparing. Can you imagine this? It's a very serious statement with Prahlad Maharaj. See, given a dog eater is most glorious if he is a devotee of Vishnu. He is much highly placed and situated if he is a devotee of Vishnu. On the other hand, even if one is endowed with the 12 best Brahmana qualifications, he fails to purify himself. What to speak of his kula? Therefore, to become a Vaishnava is very, very important and noteworthy. So the goal is not to become a Brahmana, but to become a Vaishnava. That's why in these texts we see that Richika Muni is saying that your son will be a Kshatriya, your son will be Brahmana. That's fine, that's in the Varnashrama Dharma. But more important than becoming Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra is actually to become a devotee of the Lord. And we have nothing to do with this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra as a spiritualist or as a transcendentalist. We transcend, that's why it's called transcendentalist. In English, transcend means to cross over, to go above. So to go above even Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and even Brahmana. Become transcendental. To become transcendental means to become situated in a position above even Brahmana. It's called transcendental. Transcend. That means become a devotee of the Lord. Because the devotee belongs to no Varna. As God belongs to no Varna, God is neither Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahmana, Shudra, nor Brahmachari, Grahastha, Sannyasi. God belongs to no Varna, no Ashtama. Similarly, God's devotees belong to no Varna, no Ashtama. That has to be understood. And that is a very desirable position. So we all have to become God's men. We all have to become God's men and transcend all these designations. That's why in one more literature called Hari Bhakti Sudodhaya, another very great Vaishnava literature, is described Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastras Japas Tapaha Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. This is a very famous verse Prabhupada quotes many times. This verse says Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya. If you lack Bhagavad Bhakti, Hinasya means without. Bhagavad Bhakti, if you lack Bhagavad Bhakti, Hinasya, then of what veil or of what use or of what glory is Jatihi? I'm a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a high class man, I'm from high class society, I am from the royal family, I am from a Zamindar family, I am from the family of doctors, the family of scientists, I am from the family of kings. What glory is there? Jati, high birth, Shastra, What glory is there of your high learning in the Vedic literatures and chanting Vedic mantras? Jati Shastra, Japaha. Of what veil is all your japam? People do japa. So japa means mantra patana. Every day some count they will have. 1 hour, half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes some people do 8 hours a day japa. I'm not saying Hare Krishna. Other than that, other than Hare Krishna. So different kind of japas people have. Not Vishnu japa. Other than Vishnu japa is the context here. So Jati Shastra japa tapaha will take up a lot of austerities. So many austerities. Jati Shastra japa tapaha. But what is the use of all these things? Bhagavad Bhakti hina. Without Bhagavad Bhakti, what is the value of all these things? Apranasya dehasya. The position of a person with high austerity credits, high shastric credits, high uh, birth credits is all like apranasya dehasya. Deha without prana. Apranasya dehasya. A body without prana. What is its position? Dead body. That's all. It is simply a dead body. Dead body has no value. So apranasya dehasya. Still, there is one section of people in India who will celebrate even dead body. There's one section, we will not go into details. Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Lokaranjanam means, so they celebrate even dead bodies. They have a celebration with the dead body. So only foolish people will have celebration with the dead body. What is the meaning of celebration with the dead body? It has no life, it has no value, it has lost all its value. Similarly, all our material credits will be simply a big zero without Vishnu Bhakti. So Prabhupada gave a simple man's language, examples of zeros and ones. How much is zero? Zero. 2 zeros? Something is there, right? No, it is zero. Prabhu, 3 zeros? Something? No, it is zero. 10 zeros? Something, no. At least now you say something is there. It is zero. 100 zeros? Zero. 1 lakh zeros? Zero. Any number of zeros to the power of 0 to the power of n, 0. Right? But you precede 1 to every 0. Each of that 0 also becomes valuable. So next to 1 0 you put 1, it becomes 10. Next to 2 zeros you put 1, it becomes 100. 3 zeros becomes 1000. So the more zeros you add and just add that to 1, all the zeros will, even which has no value, will become valuable. Prabhupada said that one is Krishna or Krishna consciousness. So if you add that one Krishna into your life, everything of yours becomes highly valued. Your family, your society. Therefore, in Krishna consciousness movement, we don't say reject family. We don't say reject assets. We don't say you have to reject any material possession, respect, name, fame, influence, knowledge. Everything is a zero per se, standalone. But you add Krishna, everything becomes immensely valuable. Add Krishna. That's all. So this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So you don't have to reject anything material. Just add Krishna and purify everything. Create value to everything by adding Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, simply being proud to be a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or from high grade families by itself has no great value. Therefore, we should not simply keep aspiring or working for getting better material status, position, situation. It's not a very wise thought. It's not a very wise thought. All material positions are simply entangling and binding. However high or low it may be, it is all simply entangling. Karma bandhana, that's all. We should not waste our time, our energy in trying to get these positions. That's what we feel. Satyavati wanted, Satyavati's mother wanted Satyavati's oblation. Finally, it became a mistake also. It became a mistake. That's why Krishna says, better stick on to your position, don't imitate others' position. 2 times Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Small homework for all of you. I wanted to quote the verse, but I will keep it as a homework for all of you. Figure out where it is told in Bhagavad Gita. 2 times Krishna has told this Bhagavad Gita. Better you stick on to your own duty. Don't imitate others' duty. Don't follow others' path. For others' path is dangerous. For you, not for him. You think the grass is green on the other side. You better don't therefore go there. It is not good for you. What your life is, it is your life, and it will be the best for you. Krishna always will have the best for every individual. Don't imitate others. Don't follow others' path. For following others' path is dangerous, Krishna says. Everybody is given something as per their guna, karma, so many considerations. So we just stick on and try to become Krishna conscious. And you can save the entire situation. Otherwise, it is not desirable. See, so we thought something good will happen. Finally, it became undesirable. They want a Brahminical son, but son became very fierce, like Kshatriya. We'll see further what happens. Then she begs pardon from her husband. Then he says, okay, fine. If not your son, yes, your grandson will become a fierce Kshatriya. And that was Parshurama. So Satyavati's son therefore became Jamadagni. Okay, he said, okay, fine. But my word cannot go wrong. Therefore he said, I will make your son Brahmana, but your grandson will become a Kshatriya. She said, okay, that's fine. Anyway, that is also good. That's why you can see, don't try to avoid the situations in life. Whatever in God's arrangement happens, it will all be good. Even the negative thing will become positive. See, Parashurama was apparently very fierce Kshatriya, but incarnation of God. He has done good to all the people of the world. So everything will always end in good if you become Krishna conscious. Don't have to really worry about any negative situation. Krishna will turn every negative situation to become positive, provided you simply follow Krishna's direction to the spiritual master. Okay. So I'll stop here. Granth Lakshman and Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.